Beautiful souls, do you have a prayer request or want us to send you healing energy today? Would you like us to be praying for your friend or loved one? If this is you, go to worldslargestprayernetwork.com to submit your prayer request. And while you're there, please sign up to join our team of prayer warriors. The angels say prayer not only opens you to miracles, raises your vibration, and helps you heal, but the more you pray, the more God's presence is felt on earth. Feel your angels' love as they surround you right now, and listen for the positive, loving messages your angels intended specifically for you in today's episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your host and author, Julie Jancius. And today, Kris is back with us again with more of her angel stories. Kris, welcome back to the show and thank you for being here.
Hi, Julie. It's great to see you.
Oh, you too. All right. So I'm going to let you take it off where we left off last time, your next angel story.
All right. So I was a young teacher. Probably like maybe 26 or so. And my curriculum director at my school, I was teaching special education students in a self-contained setting. And they were, so 7th and 8th graders, but they had very low reading levels. And she had picked this reading program that was wonderful. I mean, it's a good program. It really does teach people to read. But the interest level was for 1st and 2nd graders. Mm. So I had these 7th and 8th grades boys that were reading stories that were written for 1st and 2nd graders. And I just felt like it was demeaning to them and insulting. And how are you going to really get into reading if you constantly feel less than, right? And I'm not a person that rocks the boat. I'm not a person that, stands up and shouts and, makes waves. And so I just was at a loss at what to do, but I kept looking for a new program. And I found a program that was high interest, low readability that should help them learn to read. But she didn't want to hear anything about it because she already had this program and she had paid for it. And so I went around her to someone else and I made an appointment with the salesman for this other company. But again, that's not my personality. I don't do those things. And so I was losing a lot of sleep and I was so nervous. And the day before, the salesman was going to come and meet with me and this other person in the district, I don't think I slept a wink. And I was just beside myself with anxiety. And I walked into the office and here's this man. My dad was, he used to say 5'18". So he was 6'6". And this salesman comes in and it's April. It's really warm out. And he's real tall. He's older with salt and pepper hair like my dad. And he had this sport coat on that it was wool and it was this herringbone, black and white pattern. It was exactly like the one my dad had. And it was my favorite of my dad's. And so I thought, oh my gosh, like there's my sign. Like there's no way that this poor man, he had to be so hot in his jacket, but something told him to wear it that day, and it just set me at ease. And I just felt so much better. And so it was just really nice. And I did get that approved and everything went through. But just seeing that sign set me at ease and put me on that path to know that I was doing the right thing and just relax and it's going to work out.
Yeah. And I think you used a lot of discernment there. Like you said, it really comes down a lot of times to intention as well. And it really was your intention for the maximum benefit of those children to have exactly what they needed to be able to read. But reading is such a huge building block for the rest of your life. And I know as having my master's in education, if kids aren't on track when they're younger and they can't read, on time, they start to feel like they're behind in school and they start to dislike school. And it can create this snowball effect where they just feel like they're not good.
Yes.
They're not worthy. They're not up to par. They're not like everybody else. And it's interesting. Spirit's asking me to bring through an angel message here. I had the same thing, but in math. Like I was okay in reading. But when it came to math, I remember, I think it was fourth or fifth grade, I got my first C in Catholic school. And I remember going out to the car because my dad was picking me up and he said, "Today's report card day, right? Can I see your report card?" And he opened it up in the car, saw the C in math and said, like, looked at me. And remember our parents did this in the 80s. They would be like, and 90s, "I'm not upset. I'm just really, really disappointed." Right. And I think like that was such a gut punch. It was worse than them even being upset. And so I remember thinking to myself, well, then I'm just going to try harder. I'm going to apply myself more. But it wasn't a matter of trying with me. I was always giving 100%. I was trying my best and I still wasn't flourishing within math. It wasn't coming naturally to me. So I've really watched out for that within my own kiddo of different subjects. Because for me, I took that energy of, well, I'm not good enough. No matter how hard I try, I'm not going to be good at this. And it actually wasn't until a high school class, because in high school, I finally took matters into my own hands. Like I took my power back, and I remember marching into the who is like the person in the high school that manages your schedule.
Are your counselors?
Yes. Marched into their office and I was like, I can't do this one more day. Like, I do not get this math stuff. Like, what can I do? And they were like, well, you can go down like a level in math and kind of, I don't know if they call that remedial. Best decision I ever made in high school because the math teacher that I had who knew the kids in his class didn't get it whatsoever applied all real world problems to it. So he would, and this was like in 1996 or 1997, he would have us cut out newspaper ads for cars. Okay, if you're going to lease a car versus buying a car, how much are you going to pay long term? If you're going to pay for the plan on that cell phone, or if you're going to buy that cell phone outright, how much are you going to pay over the life of it all? If you put in this much for retirement, how much are you going to have in 10 years? How much are you going to have in 20 years? Versus if you start saving when you're 30 or 40 years old. It was incredible. And so the angel message coming through is two-part. One, moms and dads out there, look out for your kiddos. And if they are having trouble in a subject, please don't come at them like, I'm disappointed in you. Come at them and say, where can I support you in this? How can I help you? I believe you are trying 110%. Where could I get you a tutor? Have you get help from a high school student? Whatever it might be. The second thing is, if you do that and it still doesn't work, sometimes kids need to go down a level. And those teachers are the spot on teachers, earth angels that those kids need in their life in order to know their own worth, know their own power, and feel comfortable in their own skin. And so, yeah, that's my message of the day.
Yeah. Well, and there's, when a child learns differently, you would never tell a kid that needs glasses, you can't have glasses.
Right. You need to try harder to see.
Right. But if they learn differently, sometimes parents or other teachers will be like, well, you just have to try harder. Well, how about if we try explaining it differently? How about if we teach them the way that they learn, and then all of a sudden they get it better?
And it's those two things that math teacher did. He taught it in a different way, and he taught it in the way that we had to learn. He knew we were all visual ADHD kids, right? Who needed to see it, to feel it, to know it. And my God, have I used that one? Like, that man taught us how to run a household budget. He taught us, like, and every time I go to buy a car every, 10 years or buy a cell phone, I sit there and I do the math like he taught me to.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. Kris, I know you have more angel stories. We're going to dive into those.
Okay. So the next one was just after my mom passed. My daughter she comes home and she said, "Hey, Mom, Grandma just saved my life." I said, "What?" And she said, she was young. She was, in her teens. But like most of us, she was walking and texting. And she was walking down the street to her friend's house. And she said, "I was just getting ready to cross the street, and I smelled this overpowering smell of Grandma's perfume, and I stopped." And she said, "And with that, this car flew by." And she said, "If I hadn't smelled the perfume, I wouldn't have stopped, and I would have gotten hit by that car because I should have been paying attention, but I wasn't."
Wow.
And it just gave me chills, and I hugged her real tight. And I said, "Well, she's part of your spirit team. She's always with you," and I just thanked my mom so profusely. And within a few nights of that, I had a visitation, a dream visitation from my mom. And I can't tell you, I remember she looked gorgeous. But she held my hand. I don't remember anything that was said, but I could feel it. And I woke up feeling it. My eyes were still closed. I was like, "Don't open your eyes because it's going to go away." And you just wanted to go back to sleep and feel it again. But it was such a powerful, like I said, there was no words, but just that feeling of holding her hand again.
Yes.
Was huge, just huge.
Wow.
So,
have you felt that since?
No, I can tell when she's here. I can tell when, not that she isn't always here, but like closer. I definitely feel my mom and dad's presence. But I haven't had, with either one of them, I haven't had any more visitations.
I wonder if when you feel your mom's presence, how does it feel to you? What does that feel like?
Like there's someone sitting next to me. Sometimes it's like a hug. But definitely like there's just somebody right there next to me.
Mm-hmm.
When
you felt her hand squeeze, what did that feel like?
Just like we were sitting there holding hands like you would right now if I held your hand.
Yeah.
It was the exact same. And like I said, I was awake. My eyes were closed and I could still feel it. And I just thought to myself, "Don't open your eyes because you don't want to lose this." But then, and it can't last forever.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure. Your mom's asking me to kind of walk you through a couple of things to bring you back to this so that you can feel it more.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because, and I tell this to my Angel Reiki school students all the time, if you can get a message once, you can get it over and over again. Like you can develop it. If you can feel mom's hand once, you can develop that too. Okay?
Okay.
Friends, want a 5-day free trial of the Angel membership? Go to angelwellnesscenter.com/free trial to start your free trial today. You're not going to want to miss out on 2023 in the Angel membership. We're adding intuitive development circles, expert guest faculty teachers, 40 new pre-recorded energy healing sessions guiding you to hear your own angel messages, and content exclusively for kids. A whole year of new angel membership content starts January 1st, 2023. The angels call it a year of ease and healing the whole you, mind, body, and spirit. With topics like somatic healing and embodiment work, we're focused on spiritually healing the whole being through a journey of personal transformation. Plus, you'll get access to live events and past content. Sign up for your 5-day free trial now. One more surprise. We launched the Intuitive Kids podcast early. You can now listen everywhere podcasts are found. To celebrate, we're giving away dozens of prizes in a drawing for people who leave a 5-star positive review. So don't forget, leave a review of the Intuitive Kids podcast and separately sign up for your 5-day free trial of the Angel membership. We know you're going to love it. Details are in the show notes. So, do you have a practice of either silence, stillness, meditation, kind of in your everyday, even if it's a short period?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, probably not every day.
Sure.
That's my goal.
That's okay.
Is every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
walk me through, like, what is your practice? What are the steps that you take?
Really, I focus on the 3-minute meditation that you do.
Yes.
That's my go-to.
Perfect.
And then even if I don't play it, I sit down and I do the deep breathing. You know, there's another one that I tried where you look at the person's picture before you start your meditation, but it's the deep breathing and the relaxing, and it's usually in the same space.
Okay.
Every day.
So your mom's saying that your gifts are very auditory, but you're also very visual as well. And so when you do the meditation and you start to feel that energy above your head, your crown, you know what I'm talking about when I get you to that ending point. I want you to take it another step further, and I want you to really visualize the details of mom. Now, you could do this with dad too, but I wouldn't do it with two souls at once at the beginning, because you really want to just tune in to one. It's going to help you develop faster.
Okay.
So if you come into that meditative state, bring the energy all the way up to the crown chakra, feel the energy outside of yourself, then connect with mom, see her in detail. When you see her in detail, you remember what she smells like. You remember what it feels like to touch her hand. You remember just the color of her eyes, or think of what she would be wearing.
Right.
Any of these little details that you go into, it's almost as if you're on the other side knocking at her door, and just these details and putting your attention on them are drawing her energy closer to you. So as you draw her energy closer to you, then you start to feel her presence, which is why I asked you that question before. That's the next step. You just feel her presence. And as you feel her presence, you know her energy's here.
Right.
And as you know her energy's here, you can sit down with her. You could have a conversation with her. You could do automatic writing back and forth. Or you could feel her touch. And so you can say, Mom, I just need to sit with you. And I just need to hold your hand. And did you ever watch the movie Beaches?
Yes. Yeah.
I watched that movie as a little kid, and I cried my eyes out because I could feel this transference of energy over the years. Didn't know when it would come. I still don't know exactly when, but I could feel the moment in time in the future when my mom wasn't going to be here anymore. And that moment in the movie where she's looking for the picture of her mom's hand hit me like a ton of bricks. And I just could not stop crying because my mom and I have the exact same hands. My skin is exactly like her skin. And so if you are able to sit with your mom in that meditative state, you could just say, Mom, I just need to hold your hand. And you can look down at her hand. And did you ever go to church when you were younger with your mom and hold
Yeah.
her hand?
Yeah.
Do you because she's saying that she's bringing this through. Her hand looked different as you were a kid than it did when you were holding your mom's hand towards the end of her life.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to see that younger version of her hand because she has that younger image over on the other side.
She did in the dream too.
Yeah.
That younger.
Yeah. So when you look down, don't be surprised when it's not her older hand, but it's her younger hand. She's hysterical. She's one of those that sends me the signs of, she's at her house on the other side and she's showing me how big her closet is and how much she loves her clothes and her makeup. Girlfriend really loves to be put together.
Oh, my friends would say to me, I loved your mom because she was the classic lady. She was always put together.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. You don't see that all the time.
No.
Yeah. But she loves it. And so it's not vanity. She's just really cute about it. She's like, tell her she's not going to see the older hand. She's going to see the younger hand. No more older hand.
Right. Well, the older hand was filled with arthritis and pain. So I would hope it's not the older hand. You know?
Oh, that's wonderful. Kris, let's see. I think you have one more story, right?
I do.
Yes.
And this was one from just learning from your podcasts, and you'll say, if you need a sign, ask for a sign.
Yeah. And
our son is moving 9 hours away. And that's a huge transition. And, we thought it's time and it's a good move for him. And we were getting ready. He and his girlfriend and I were getting ready to go set up his apartment. He's staying home, but we were just getting ready to do that ahead of time. So it was all done. And he got this news the day before we were supposed to leave that sort of unsettled him. Mm. And he didn't know if it was accurate news or not, but it just really kind of shook his faith or shook his faith in his decision. Yeah. And am I doing the right thing? And, he's going to be 9 hours away and my apron strings don't reach that far. So there's this part of me that doesn't want him to go, even though I know it's a good thing for him. And, but at that moment, I'm like, I don't know what to tell him. Is this a sign that he's supposed to stay home and do something else? Or is this just that egoic and your fear pulling in? And, so I asked my spirit team, I said, look, I'm not sure what to tell him. So I need a sign, and you know me, you send me a sign and I don't know what you're trying to tell me. So you're going to hit me over the head. So here's the deal. Later on, I'm going to put on some music. And if I hear something about, coming home and staying home, I'll know I have to talk him into staying home. If I hear travel and, hitting the road again kind of thing, then I'll know it's okay. And this is just a, fear. And so I just let that sit for a little while. And my husband was working. And so we were just having dinner alone. And I said, let's put on some music. And I hit my phone and turned on the music. And it was a random playlist. So it wasn't like something I had set up. And the first line of the first song that came on is, I have to get going now.
Wow. And
I was just like, wow. Like, you asked, and I asked, and I said to my spirit team, look, I really need this to be specific. I can't waver here.
Yes.
But it's a huge decision and it weighs a lot on you. Yeah. And I do feel like every time I've had this, like with the teaching or with other things, if I'm really overwhelmed, my spirit team doesn't wait to send me the sign.
Yeah.
They realize that, okay, she's had enough. Let's, and they're always there, you just have to be open and listen,
That's awesome.
And the whole time we were down at his apartment, the first receipt, well, maybe not the first, but one of the receipts was $11.11. And the whole time we were down there, he'd see something and say, oh, well, that's a sign. This is going to be okay. and he looks at me, because I'll tell him some of my angel stories and stuff. And he looks at me and smiles, but I think he thinks I'm a little woo woo. Right.
Yeah.
And, but it was neat, because he was like, oh no, look, there's another sign. And so it was just really, it brought peace to the situation. And I think he's going to have an amazing journey. But they really stepped up and helped me.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Kris, thank you so much for being on the show today. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy, your love, and your stories with us.
Thank you so much. It's been so nice meeting you and sharing my stories. Thank you so much.
Of course. To everybody listening, if you have angel stories to share, we'd love to hear them and have you on the show as well. You can email them to juliejancius@gmail.com, and we'll have someone on our team reach out to you soon. Beautiful soul, thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Julie. You know I'm all about connecting you with messages from your angels and loved ones on the other side. If you've been listening today and you're super excited and just have to know which angels are around you right now, who's connecting with you, and what messages they have for you, go to theangelmedium.com. Register for a session. You can do a reading with me or a member of my team, and we can help you in making sure that your angels are doing the very best they can to support you and guide you to your best life. If this sounds like you, virtual sessions, they're only offered on my website. Sign up today. And if you're the person who's really excited, you can sign up for my Angel Reiki School to become a certified angel messenger. That's for the healers among us who feel called to grow their intuition to the max and serve humanity with their gifts. You'll learn Reiki, mediumship, how to deliver angel messages, and how to get clients. That's the Angel Reiki School at theangelmedium.com, or DM me on Instagram at Angel Podcast with any questions. Before you go, connect with your angels by placing your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath. Imagine a doorway filled with God's unconditional love is right in front of you. Step into that love and feel it as it fills your body, chakras, and auric field. Now ask your angels, what would you have me know today? And open yourself to the positive, loving messages they have just for you.